Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. In this video I am going to show you how to do a slip knot. We're going to chain a few chains and we're then going to do a single crochet, end of our project, and weave in our end. So what you're going to need for our project is your yarn. Choose a color yarn that is not too dark, because otherwise you're going to struggle to see your stitches. You'll also need your crochet hook. For the first project, try to take a crochet hook that is a size bigger than the recommended one. It just makes seeing the stitches a little bit easier when you're a beginner. Then we'll also need our scissors and a darning needle. So when you're ready, we can get started. So let's start off by making a slip knot. You get different types of techniques. This first one is pretty straightforward. You are going to create a little circle with a little cross in the middle, and then you're going to pick up the middle part of your circle while holding on to the outside tail, and then you can just kind of weave your finger in there and pull tight. Or the other method is you're going to do exactly the same way. Create your little cross inside, then use your hook to pick up the middle part, and holding on to both the tails, just pull tight. The other method is by grabbing onto your yarn on both ends, and then twisting your yarn to create a cross on the left, and then grabbing onto the shorter piece of tail underneath the circle you created, holding onto both the tails, and then just pulling tight. And then lastly, the preferred method I have for crochet is by holding onto your yarn with your index finger and your thumb, and then wrap your yarn around your two fingers, and then creating a cross on top of your fingers. Hook your yarn underneath from the right and pull the yarn from the left through this circle, then grabbing onto the two tails, just pull tight. So once you've got that figured out, we can move on to the next step, the single crochet. So always try to leave a bit of a tail. We want to weave this in afterwards, so if it's too short you're going to struggle to do that. The most important thing about crochet is tension. You want to work for a perfect tension, not too tight and not too loose, because you want your work to just flow. So let's start off by chaining. Hold on to this part on the left. You're going to yarn over. When I say yarn over, it means bring your yarn over your hook, and then holding on to this back piece of string, because you don't want this to move around like this. You want to kind of keep it steady. So holding on to this string next to your hook makes this first part a bit easier. So with your left hand, take your yarn and yarn over your crochet hook, and then grab onto this little piece of tail, and then gently pull the yarn through the slip knot that you've now created, and you've created your first chain. So you don't need to hold on the right anymore. You can just hold with your index finger and your thumb, just yarn over again, and then gently pull through the next hoop, and there's another chain, and try that again. And this will help by holding onto the bottom tail. This will help with tension. So don't pull too tight, you just want to have it comfortably in your hand. Okay, so if you look up close now, that we have created 5 stitches now, and if you look at them, they look like little braids. So let's chain another 10 to make that 15. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so there's a chain of 15. So for our first round, we're going to insert our hook in the second chain from the right, not in the first one, but in the second one. So gently insert your hook between these little 2 stitches you see over here. It looks like a little braid. You can just, if you look up closely, you want to work it in between these little 2 pieces over here. So gently just insert your hook into that little part, then yarn over, and then gently just pull it through the first hoop, and now you'll see that you've got 2 little hoops on your hook, and then yarn over, and then gently pull through both those hoops, and there's your first stitch. Okay, so for the next one, just look for that next stitch, insert your hook gently, and then just yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through both those hoops, and then insert into your next one, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and again yarn over, pull through 2. Once you get the hang of it, it really is quite simple. Now that we're getting to the end of this row, you'll notice that where you created the knot, it might be a bit tight. Just wiggle your hook in there, and you've created your first row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 stitches. So you can now yarn over, pull through. This is a chain 1, and then we're not going to do anything, we're just going to turn our project around like this, and then we're going to work to the left again. Now if you turn your project up, you'll notice that the stitches look a little different now. They look like little braids from the top, but you're going to be working underneath those top 2 stitches you see over here. Make sure it's right underneath these 2 stitches. You don't want to work it into the wrong place. So just insert, pull your yarn through, yarn over, and pull through 2. Making sure you get it right underneath those 2 stitches, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And then you can just continue right across the second row, and then coming up here on the end again, the last stitch might be a bit tight, So just make sure you're getting it underneath it too. Just wiggle it in there, and then yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so you've created your second row now. So we can do one more. Chain 1, turn your project around, and again into those top ones, look where the 2 stitches are, gently insert your hook underneath those 2, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2. You can do a couple of rows until you are comfortable with the single crochet. You don't have to stop where we stop in this video. Okay, into this last finicky stitch again, and then this is where we're going to be ending off our project. So you've created 3 rows. So you can yarn over and pull through, and then leaving yourself a little bit of tail space, you can just cut off your yarn, and then this little string, you're just going to pull it through that hoop and just pull tight. Now you don't want to really cut off your yarn over here, because if you cut it off right over there, the whole project's going to come undone. So grabbing your darning needle, I'm going to show you how to weave in these ends. Now we don't want to work right on the top of the stitches. We're going to try and get underneath these stitches to kind of hide them, bury them, if you want to call it that, underneath. So you can insert your hook from the side. We're going to just work it through a few stitches, 4 or 5 stitches maybe, and then you can just pull on your needle, not too tight because you don't want it to pull in from the side, and then skipping the first one into the second one, we're going to work it backwards again, and then again from the second one, not the first one, the second one, just to work it up the opposite direction again. And then we can do the other side. So again, working underneath the stitches, just insert your darning needle underneath, weaving it through a couple of stitches to the left, not pulling too tight, and then skipping that first one again, and then one more time, and I think you'll be good to go from here. And then you can just take your scissors and, as close as possible without cutting your project, just cut off that little tail and this one, and we've completed our first project. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and please subscribe to my channel, and thank you very much for watching.